In this video, we're going to be taking a look at a question that I get all the time, and that is, how do you add rhinestones to a font? And so what we're going to do is we're going to type out the word princess. So let's just go ahead and do this. Princess. And then the customer has asked for it to be 8 inches wide. So let's make it, tell you what, let's change the width of the princess to 12. And then once we've done that, we'll pick a font. Now, I really like the ballpark font for lots of things. So that's what we want to do. How do we add stones to this and make our word princess? Your success in rhinestone design is going to be based on 2 things. First and foremost, your persistency. You're going to have to sit down in front of your computer and you're going to have to teach yourself how to do it. And the great thing about working here inside CorelDRAW is that there's so many resources out there, free resources out there, to learn CorelDRAW. Every aspect of CorelDRAW is covered out there somewhere in the world for free. You go to YouTube, and just about any tool that you type in on YouTube, how do you use it with CorelDRAW, it's going to teach you exactly how to use it. So it's just a matter of you sitting down and learning the basics. And once you have those basics learned, you're going to, anytime someone approaches you with a design, boom, you're going to know exactly how to take care of it. And it will come quickly, but you do have to put up a little effort in the very beginning. The other key to your success are videos just like this. There's not a lot out there that exists step by step, but that's really what our goal is here, is to teach you how to use the tools in EasyStone, how to use the tools here in CorelDRAW to maximize your designs here. By taking a little bit more time, you're going to end up with a very good result, rather than just opening up a piece of clip art, clicking a button, and hoping that the result is what you'd expect it to be. So for this particular approach, we're going to use a very basic approach in explaining the process here. We're not going to use a lot of wizardry and tools. We're doing just a very, very basic approach, but the end result's going to be very good. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go over to our text properties docker here in CorelDRAW. And if you don't know how to get to your text properties docker, look it up. It's out there. Trust me now. Even you can go into help here and it'll tell you how to get to your text properties docker. So at any rate, all that does is add a little bit of space between each character. Okay? So now that we have that little bit of space between each character, we need each character to be its own separate entity. To do that, we're going to come up to the range menu and break it apart. And this will allow me to change my letter P. That's what I'm after. I want a different letter P. So I want to rotate it a little bit, like so. And you know what? This tail, I want it longer. So I'm going to convert my letter P to curves. And if you don't know how to convert something to curves in Corel, look it up. Or it's Control Q. I'll give you that one, okay? It's just Control Q, and that converts to curves. But the rest of the stuff you got to teach yourself. All right, so we're just going to drag. All I did was select those nodes, and then we're just going to drag this down, just like that. And if you want to learn about node editing, what do you got to do? Go to youtube.com, type in node editing CorelDRAW, and you'll have all kinds of wonderful video tutorials and teach you how to do just that. All right, so now I have my letter P basically shaped the way I want. Now the magic happens. We're going to take all of our bits here. And how many bits do we have? We have 8 of them. Keep that in mind. We're going to need that later. Bitmaps, convert to bitmap. Whatever the settings are, they are. Doesn't matter. Now our letters are bitmapped away. We'll go to trace bitmap. We'll go to the center line trace option. We'll choose the line drawing option. Whatever the settings are, they are. Don't touch them. They're fine. We'll just sit and wait for the computer to do the work. So the computer is processing our letters. The computer had done a wondrous job, so we're going to go ahead and click OK. And look at the result that we get. And the result that we get, well, that don't look like much to me, does it? But actually, it's perfect. It's perfectly good for what we need it for. So now, how do we take this result and make it into something? Well, first things first, we're going to ungroup it. Now, if I select all those bits again, look at down here at the bottom. It says 9 objects. But remember earlier I said we had 8 letters, and to keep that in mind. So the reason we have 9 objects is because of this little bit here for our letter I. So we're going to group that together. Now we have a cool function here in Easy Font. See, we have all these macros to help us out with the design process because Corel is great, but it doesn't have everything in it. So what I want to do here is take all of these letters and group them, get that space really close together. So we're going to type in 0.02 space selected. And see how it just tightened all that up perfectly for us? And then we're going to take this and we're going to slide it over and position it where we would actually position it next to our letter P here. You're saying, well, why are we doing all that? Well, what we need to do is get an overall width here. And so now I can select this whole thing and change my width. You can see right now it's 10.7 inches, which would be too wide for a shirt. So the customer says they need 8 inches. So we made it 8 inches wide right there. Now it's 8 inches wide. Now we're going to space those letters back apart again. Why? Just because that's the way I like to work. All right, why don't we deal with all these lowercase letters first, because those you can take care of in your sleep. So let's get those taken care of. So we're just going to select all of them. We're going to choose a stone here. Let's choose a dark color stone so we can see this. We'll do fuchsia. We'll click on add stones. Oh, there's a group there. Yes, okay, all right. So we've got to ungroup it. Then we can add stones. It's kind of finicky that way. All right, so now the next thing to do is we're going to pick one of these letters here, it doesn't matter which one, and drag a couple of guidelines down just for references. We don't want to go beyond that too much. So we're just going to start over here with our letter R, and you can see that we have these paths, right, that we need to get rid of. So let's do that first. Let's come in here, go to Selections, Delete Stone Paths, and now you can see all those paths are now gone, right? Then we'll clean up all overlapping stones. Go to our Editing tab, check spacing. Now we can see what's left over. So now we can just make any fine tune. This is the easy way to do it, and not only is it easy, it doesn't take a lot of Corel Draw skills, but you'll also get very good results. Because now we're taking total control. We're going to move that down there like so, and then we're going to take this, we're going to duplicate it, we're going to move that up a little bit, and we'll move that up a little bit, and there is our letter R. Now if we want to space that, spacing a little bit, there we go. And see that space? I don't like that. But that's the architect in me. I went to school for architecture, so I pick up and cue up on those little things there. So now that spacing looks a lot better. So there's our letter R, and its height in relationship to everything else looks pretty good. So now for our letter I here, we're just going to go ahead and we'll make a small change here, and we're going to take these, and all I'm doing is clicking on one and then shift clicking on all the others. So we're going to take these and just adjust things a little bit, add an extra stone where we think we need it. And there is our letter I, just like that. Then we'll come over here, and I'm going to take all of these stones, and we're going to push them all the way to the top here. We're going to delete that stone. We're not going to use that one. We'll pull this stone over maybe, and we'll do something like that, maybe. No, we're not going to do that one. Let's get rid of that. Don't like that. We'll select these, and we'll just kind of position those where they should be there. And then we'll go ahead and take these stones. So you see it's a little bit more work. It's not just push button and watch the magic happen, but it's something that anyone can do. It doesn't take a great deal of skill in Corel Draw and know-how. We just move a couple of dots around, and I guarantee you the end result will be better than any automated approach anyhow. So now you can see here our letter C is pretty much the way we need it to be. We will tell you what, let's just delete that altogether. We don't need that. That takes care of our letter C. Now our letter E needs a little fixing up, a little sprucing up. We'll go ahead and delete that, and we'll delete that. And then we'll go ahead and we'll just make a few changes here. Bring over these. Now I'm just going to pull these down a little bit. And this stone here, I'm just going to push it up just to kind of close that E in a little bit. There we go. Now our letter S just needs a little bit fine-tuning here. That spacing is a little bit too close. So that takes care of that. And a little bit of spacing there. We'll do a little bit of spacing there and here. And you can see this is a little bit close. So it's easy enough to make these little adjustments. Pull this in. There, that looks good. And then we'll just take these two and we'll push it up like that. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. So obviously we don't have to do this one again because we want our S's to be the same. So now we just have to try and put these pieces together again. So we're just going to move this over. And you can see where things don't quite line up. Don't panic. It'll be alright. We'll just go ahead and make them line up. So if at first you don't succeed, we'll just make them line up. So I think what we'll do here is we'll move this. I have the decision here. I think I'm going to leave that and we're going to move this over then. See how that lines up now? And then we can just kind of take these here and we just fine tune. There we go. So that lines up really good. So now we'll go ahead and bring over Princess here. That lines up pretty good. And see, we can even change it up just a little bit there. That looks fine. We'll pull over our letter C now. And how that all connects. That looks good. And if we want to, we can try different things. We can delete that. And then go ahead and pull over. And we'll just pump this up a little bit. Make those small changes there. I think that looks pretty good. And let's go ahead and bring over our ES. And see what it looks like here. So we'll just pull that over. And I think it looks pretty decent actually. So we'll go ahead and, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and pull this over and pull this down. So we just want to pull this down just a little bit. So that dies in nicely with our letter E. And then finally our letter S here. Probably do the same type of thing here. Make it like it's dying into our letter S a little bit better. And there is, see, that looks really good. So now we just pull that other letter S over, like so, and we'll delete that one. Don't think we need that. And then we'll move that back over a little bit. So the spacing isn't quite so much. So there is the princess part. Now for the letter P. This is where there's some work here. There's a little bit of work here. And again, we're going to be working on node editing. So if you don't know anything about node editing, we're going to teach you a few tricks here. But also, don't be afraid to go to YouTube and look it up. There's too much information out there, and it'll be a very valuable resource for you. So I don't really like the way this P looks anyhow. So what we're going to do is we're going to change it. We're going to make it bigger. You can pull it. You can pull it some more. You can make it however you want to make it. So I don't know about that long of a tail and whatnot, but the looping part of the P is more like the way I want it now. Now, what I would do first is grab our shape edit tool. See all that monkey business? There's 1,000 nodes there. Come up here to this reduce node slider and slide. Now watch those curves. See how they're not changing much. Let me undo that. let me show you how many curves, how many nodes are here. There are 139 nodes. So to bring that down to something more manageable, like 15, that sounds like a good idea. See, much more manageable. So, and you can see everything looks a little bit smoother. Now, we need to clean up these intersections right here. So what I'm going to do here is just come in here and delete certain things, because these aren't like they're supposed to be anyhow. So let's select that and come in here to our editing tab, break at nodes. And what that will do is that will delete that little line intersection, and then all these things have to line up. So that has to line up there, and this has to line up right there. Now I can click on this line and see I can change this loop. So when we made those edits, you can see the loop changed with it. But we can modify that. So we don't want to pay a whole lot of attention to that. Down here, same thing. We're going to break at nodes. Then we're going to go ahead and take these parts here and line them up again. So again, we're just going to grab our node edit tool and pull that right over. Take this, pull it right over so everything lines up there. Now you can see this is really messy here, but we can pull that out and we can grab these control handles and we can just play. And once you've played a little bit with those, you're going to get really good manipulating those, because it's really not a big deal at all. This one's way out here in left field. Let's just bring it down. Let's bring it up. Twirl this around. And you can see how very quickly you can reshape this to exactly the way you want it. So this piece up here, we're going to reshape it. Look at that. This is way out here, so we're going to just kind of reshape that. So this is a nice smooth. And same thing here. This here, we're going to pull this up, and then we'll reshape this a little bit. So this transition right at that intersection is a little bit smoother. Oh, we didn't want to delete it. So it's just a matter of kind of finessing it a little bit to get it how you want to, and it's really not that super critical. But yeah, we do want to get it, fairly close here. And then the same thing up here. We have one more to go here. So let's go ahead and bring that into play. Change it to a curve. So it's not a straight line segment, and we get these control handles the way we want them. Now that we have that, it's going to be very easy for us to add stones to these lines and have a really nice result. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go to the Stone tab and choose Add Stones. And we'll select this line too and add stones to it. And then you can see right where these intersections are. Nice, perfect intersection. All we have to do is tweak the placement of those stones just ever so slightly. So again, we'll break stones here. And then we're just going to slide stuff around just a little bit. So this right here, tighten up that spacing a little bit. That looks pretty good. And then we're going to do the same thing up here. And it's just because I'm a fanatic about that. That just catches my eye, that those stones are a little bit farther spaced apart than the rest of the design. There we go. That looks really good. So now we're going to go ahead and select everything. Come over to our Selections tab, delete stone paths out of the way. And then what we're going to do is come over here and add a weed box. And then we'll go ahead and clear out our guidelines. And there it is. There's our finished product. Let's select the whole thing. Take a look at it quick. It's 8.5 inches wide because of the changes that we made to our letter P here. We should do a final check spacing because there will be a couple overlapping stones there. And there is the finished product. So the key thing here is we can really create something very nice, very easy. And if you look at this end result, it looks so very different than the font that we started with. And that's the thing. You just got to think outside the box a little bit. Watch this video a dozen times if you need to, because this is a great starter video for you. Understand the process, work through it, try it, and I guarantee you, once you understand these principles, you're going to be able to apply it to design after design after design, and it's going to get easier and easier and easier. And more importantly, you're going to be able to create whatever you want to create. You don't have to rely on what somebody else has created for you. So I hope you enjoyed this one. There'll be lots more to come. Thanks for watching.